an action. So you see, once it's done, they have remedies. Yes, the musicians and anyone who seeks to protect his or her rights under the copyright law has remedies under the law. And it will interest you to know that if your right is infringed upon, it's a criminal offense.
It's a criminal offense?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have a remedy under criminal law and then civil as well. You can claim compensation to which the Act provides for all these things.
You know, as you're talking, I hear you talk about register.
Okay.
Registered your song. Now, in this day of social media, people just get, and that's why I've kept on asking, is it really about who released first? Because you can release it in your room somewhere, but it is not recognized in the books that it is yours. Please, you get what I'm saying?
Yes, I get
So, you're just in the studio somewhere, or you're in the studio, you do some ping, 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 it's nice. Then you take a video of yourself, you put it out like someone did, and the next moment you put the official audio, like it's a free stuff thing.
Yes.
So it's like on social media, just like that.
Yes.
But someone takes the pain to register that, go to the proper agency or wherever to register the song. Amongst these two, whose work will be recognized?
Is the one who published it
The
first.
one who published it first.
Yes. In the media, not in your room. If you release it in your room, there's no way I will hear it. But you said if you stay in your room, you video yourself playing it, and you post it.
Okay.
It has gone through a device for the world or another person to hear it. So there's a date. Once you post it on social media, there's a date to it.
There's a date to it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we'll be able to tell if you were the one who published it first or not. So you don't have to release it in your room and play it within your room. No. Let it out. Let someone hear about it. And so I mentioned even several forms of it. People release their songs by launching, by playing it on social media. Is it SoundCloud, Boomplay, Apple Music? Some even publish it go to an extent of, after releasing it to the world or to Ghana, they get these newspaper or media agencies to publish it as well.
Okay.
But the key thing is publicity.
The publicity.
It must have been out there.
Okay.
For me, for you, or someone to have heard it. Once it's out there, obviously someone would have heard it for you to be able to claim ownership. So, and so under the copyright laws of Ghana, once it is published, it's automatic. You gain an automatic right. You need not register it. However, some jurisdictions, the laws in some jurisdictions will or may demand that you ought to have registered that your song. And that is how come, I don't know where Ed Sheeran, he sued. Yes, he sued in the UK. I'm not familiar with the laws over there, but and I'm not familiar with the case too, the full case too, so I'm unable to fully comment on it. But a lot must have gone on for him to have won the case.
The case.
Exactly.
I mean, today the conversation has been IP, the intellectual property. We've hammered on the copyrights. I want us to you've told us how important is it. Now, let's talk about the types, which you mentioned earlier on.
Yes.
That's the copyright is part. There's the patents, there's the trademark, and there's the trade secrets. These are all types.
Yeah.
If you could take it one by one, just like you've explained the copyright, how it goes, like the registration, the understanding will be so cool. So let's take it like the patent. How is it supposed to? What is it? A trademark. What is it? A trade secret. What is it? One after the other.
Okay. So trademark deals with basically names or
your brand.
For example, yes, a brand name.
Okay.
So with where copyrights, for example, with music, it deals with your sound and those things.
Okay.
With trademark, so for example, Ghana Festival. You can register Ghana Festival as a trademark such that no one can use it.
Can use it.
So that's the difference. Or is it a formula? So something that can be written, or even a design, a logo. So yes.
To identify you from the other.
Yes, so that no one can use your logo. So those are some of the things that are registered as trademarks.
Okay.
Yes, it has to be visible.
Okay.
That no one can use it. So, for example, what is in your shirt?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to use Afrochella. So let's say there's a brand called
Yes.
Afrochella. There's someone who goes to do Afrochel.
You have to register it as a trademark.
Okay.
Other
So-
than that,
so-
you stand a chance of other people copying it. Once copying it as well. So once the person uses it, you can't really go and fight the person off. Unlike copyrights, where once you release your original work, it's automatic. It gains you that automatic copyright status or protection under the act. With trademark, you ought to have registered that symbol. You ought to have registered that
So what
name.
about the trade secrets?
No, that's trademark.
That's trademark.
Yes.
And there's trade secrets.
No, trademark. Trade secret is something that happens between in contracts or
Okay.
with
So
work.
it's all part of the intellectual property.
Property bit.
Yes, they are under intellectual. So intellectual property is just a right that you gain when you bring out a work,
Work.
an
Okay.
original work.
I know if you watch comedy, you know we talked about Mr. Funny, that is Sabinus, a couple of weeks back. He was trending on Twitter. Now, he sued some companies in Nigeria. He has this term that he uses, huge. Then he has some sign that he does this. And a company put out a product, and there was a sign like this on it. Then he sued the company.
Okay.
Now, people on social media were saying that, but this is everywhere. Huge is a word. It's a word. It's everywhere. So how do you claim ownership about it? Well, there was one that was so obvious. He's got quite a big belly and some hair. So for that one that was used for that particular product, you could see that, no, this is clearly a brand as Sabinus who is on that particular product. But for the other ones that are not too, you cannot really say that you cannot attribute it to this particular person. Let's say huge or a particular term, and another brand uses it. Can you really say that it is yours, or you need to go and register that, or because you started using it, people know that it is yours?
The thin line is registration. You can't claim ownership to a sign or a variable without you registering under trademark.
Okay.
So under trademark.
Okay.
So unlike copyright, where once you publish it, it's automatic. You gain automatic rights over it. With trademark, you ought to have registered it to claim ownership of it.
Okay.
So once you have not registered it, and although you brought it out first, we don't know. So trademark, unlike copyright, is an international something.
Okay.
Because of the marks and the signs and the logos that are involved, that
Okay.
one can use it somewhere and then it would internationally it spreads. With trademark, once you register it, it's worldwide, it's international. When or if someone uses it somewhere, you can sue the person for using that work. So you cannot claim ownership without registration. You have to prove. So registration under trademark is proof of ownership.
Proof of ownership. Okay.
Okay. I want to